What's up, y'all, man? Peace, Hotep. Just wanted to say some things about the fact that we should all be following the path of enlightenment, aka a quest for knowledge that will ultimately lead us to the other side, where we will become light beings again. And of course, to be light, we must be in the dark. Just as a star is bright in the deep darkness of space, so will we once we have crossed over to the dark side. And I'm sure that phrase sounds real familiar to some of y'all. You've heard Darth Vader say it to Luke Skywalker, and Lord Sidious to Anakin Skywalker, Luke's father, and Darth Vader. Now, if you remember at the end of the movie Return of the Jedi, the last episode of Star Wars saga, when Luke is at the celebration feast at the tribal Ewok village, and he looks off in the distance, there before his eyes he sees Obi-Wan Kenobi, his old teacher. Yoda's there, his mentor, and Anakin, aka Darth Vader, his father. Now they appear to him in their light being form, and they have all traversed through different paths to get to the dark side of the Force. Now in the movie, Hollywood wants you to believe that the dark side is evil and bad. In fact, the dark is the only place which borns true light. So not only is it not evil, but it is necessary for true ascension. So you cannot become light without going through dark. The only evil or bad part of that journey is this physical realm. Death is only a doorway to the dark side, wherein we exist as true light. When I say true light, not the kind of light that you get from a light bulb or even sun or stars. It's like an ethereal light. If you were to see it with your physical eye, it would be like the brightest light you could ever imagine, but yet it wouldn't even hurt or bother your eyes to stare at it. It's that same light that you've heard people describe as the light at the end of the tunnel, or see during near-death experiences. And I say it like that because it's not near death so much as it is like it looked through the peephole in the doorway to the dark side. Where there is so much light, it seems that logically, like it would be called the light side. But please know that logic is our enemy and has nothing to do with truth. And I say logic is our enemy because it clouds our first eye, aka the third eye, aka the pineal gland, much like fear does as well. Fear and logic are our biggest obstacles in our journey to the dark side, and they will prevent us from the truth of our endeavors, whatever they may be. Now, if you're afraid of the dark, you'll never find the true light inside. If you use so-called logic, it will tell you that your path is not possible to follow, or that your goal doesn't even exist. So one of our best tools on this mission is to, whenever you feel fear or think logically, reverse those thoughts and feelings, and then you'll find the truth in their opposites. Courage and faith are our best tools and most effective weapons. Courage to face the negative forces, and faith in the Spirit's power to help us along our path. So we're not meant to travel this alone. The spirits that reside on the dark side, the light beings, they are always listening and communicating with us here in the physical world. And they communicate in many ways, including voices in our mind's eye, animal signs, weather conditions, energy fields, just about any way you can imagine. Remember, this is where logic or fear can really affect your growth, because like many folks are so afraid of these things that they ignore the signs, they ignore the communications from the other side that I'm calling the dark side. But remember, the dark side is not dark in the sense that we know darkness in the physical world realm. Too many folks fear that it's like a scary place, or that death is a scary thing, so they avoid communicating with beings from that side. And this is wrong. We must contact these spirits in order to receive necessary information that we will use to find our way to the dark side properly. Now, if fear is too great and we miss out on this info, we would be lost between realms, and that could be called hell or Tartarus, a place that you don't want to end up for eternity. And logic will tell us that the voice in our mind's eye is our own, or the hawk flying low above us is only coincidentally hunting for food nearby, or the rain at a funeral is the result of some meteorological science, and then we, to quote the god Bruce Lee, we miss all that heavenly glory. Logic is like focusing on a finger pointing away to the moon, never actually seeing the beauty of that moon, just staring at the finger. Now, I'm not suggesting that we abandon all logic and reason for blind faith, but then we're simply blinded by faith. Now, don't dismiss the reality of this realm. The reality that goes on here is very powerful. You see, you can't just, you have to find that thin line between the physical and the metaphysical and walk it in balance. The point of my vids are mainly for those who are too far on the side of the physical realm and they need a guide across the river Styx. You feel me? They need that guide because they're so lost, and I'm just throwing pointers to help you get to the metaphysical realm, hence the hooded character you see before you. You know what I'm saying? But realize that my hood comes off and I go to work and pay bills and raise children, because too often folks find that metaphysical world and they become so totally submerged that they forget their responsibilities on this plane. And you've seen them walking around in public wearing costumes and ceremonial garb, big over-exaggerated headdresses, feathers in their hair and shit, giant crystals hanging everywhere. They're off balance, just as much lost as the man in the business suit 24/7, cell phone stuck to his head, mind only on money and material possessions. Find a balance and use ceremonial objects in ceremonies. Wear society acceptable clothes when out in society. This is how it was supposed to be. Your spirit sent you here to experience this world. If you were meant to float around all the time in the crown chakra, you wouldn't have come here. You feel me? You probably seen that bumper sticker about we're not humans having a spiritual experience, we're spirits having a human experience. So have your human experience. Just don't forget where you come from, or you're never going to make it where you're going. Meaning basically stay in touch with that dark side through ritual, magic, and prayer. Utilize the info that the spirits are giving you to help you live and cope or deal with this vile place called life. For those of you who are sick and tired of this sick and tired world, don't worry. It won't last long at all. Even if humanity continues another 1,000,000 years, your trip here will be shorter than you think. This life goes by very fast, so don't waste it anticipating heaven or life on some other planet XB2 or whatever. Your spirit wanted to come here to escape the monotony, the mundane of the dark side. Space is infinite, man. Eternity is repetitive. That's the only reason a spirit would come to this horrible, horrific place, to feel something different. It's like going to a horror movie or even a comedy. Like, remember when you was a teenager and you was bored out of your natural mind, you did something crazy, maybe you jump off a bridge into the river. You know what I'm saying? For me it was robbing drug dealers, kicking in doors with the pump, and laying down a trap. You know what I'm saying? I got a rush, I'm sure the same rush like them white boys talking about when they be hollering extreme jumping off buildings and shit with a parachute. You know what I'm saying? Of course I got paid doing that too though, so with the money I go do other fun shit. And as our spirits said, this is getting lame, let's go rob a drug dealer, kind of like, and get paid. So this life is like the robbery, and love and happiness is like the money that you made from the shit, right? That's like a little metaphor for y'all about our purpose here. You feel me?